Then turn right onto North Coast Drive. Use the right lane to take a slight right turn onto West Bel Grande Drive. Take a slight right turn, then continue onto West Grand Avenue. Continue onto West Grand Avenue. For 16 miles, continue straight.
right. That there are some people that, and I saw the movie, my parents, this is what great parents I have, Steve. The very first movie I think my parents took me to see in the theater. Yeah, I was a little kid. Have you seen Jaws? I've seen Jaws. I wouldn't get in a swimming pool. I wouldn't go in a pool. It scarred me so bad. I love that movie now. I love to quote that movie. I love Clint. I love the whole movie. But as a little kid, it was a scary movie. And his analogy, Chef Bianco's analogy, is a great one. That when people are afraid, it isn't a diving back in. It's more of a wading back in to get used to things. And we're going to see a bit of that. But the sooner that restaurants are able to open at full capacity and hire their staff back, as soon as their staff is able to have... yesterday, I sat at the bar, and I do all the time when I go to Hillstone and other places. It's just more social. Even, there's nothing, I don't know, I don't feel, there's nothing more sad for me than to go to a restaurant by myself and sit at a table by myself. Nothing screams loser like that. But there's something about you go to a bar, it's more social, even though you're distanced. And I love sitting at the bar at Hillstone. The bartenders are fantastic. Everybody there is great. But I sat at the bar at Hillstone yesterday, and the bartenders are working twice as hard for half as much. They have half the customers they had before, and yet they're still giving great service. And, most people get that and try to help a little bit more if they can, tip a little better. But imagine how good it's going to be for the service industry, for the bartenders, and for the waiters and the waitresses when you can go and sit in a restaurant or a bar and it's packed. When you've got a full bar staff and a full restaurant staff, they're very busy, there's a wait, they're running around, and everybody's making money again. And I'm hoping that that's going to be sooner rather than later. Why not look at the data that this doctor's talking about and say, we need to figure out a way, if this is right, let's get moving. I'm anxious to see how this plays out. We're going to get to Did You Hear This coming up in a moment. It's how we get you caught up on the big news stories of the day. Before we do that, though, my friends at Trajan Wealth, I remind you of this every day. Getting to retirement on time takes expert opinions and experts to help you along the way. The fiduciaries at Trajan Wealth have been doing this right here in the Valley, a local company, for a very long time, and they take great pride in helping this local community. Everyone's retirement needs are different. How much time you have before you get to retirement, how much money you need to retire, what your requirements for your own life are. Having someone on your side to help you navigate the good times, but especially the unforeseen things that seem to always happen, is very necessary. That's what Trajan Wealth is best at. Sound advice and the hearts of teachers. Give them a chance to show you how they can help you get to retirement like they've done for so many others. 480-990-3300. 480-990-3300 or TrajanWealth.com. TRAJAN Wealth.com. Advisory services are offered through Trajan Wealth. They're an SEC-registered investment advisory advisor.
COVID relief. Will you get a stimulus check, and when can you expect to see the money in your account?
Over the next 10 days, we'll reach two goals, two giant goals. The first is 100 million shots in people's arms will have been completed within the next 10 days, and 100 million checks in people's pockets.
Get the latest on the COVID relief stimulus. Listen to Arizona's news station, KTAR News, on 92.3 FM.
Moving Team 6 proudly supports and hires veterans.
My name's Cody. Like Art, I was a Navy veteran. The most enjoyable part for me is you kind of go into each day with an open mindset. You get to a new job and you get to see how challenging it's going to be for the day. The craziest part for me is that for a specific family, they wake up one morning with all their belongings in one house, and by the end of the day, no matter how long the day is, their life is now in this new house and everything is back to normal. It's always a new challenge, yeah. Every day is different. Character traits wise, like ownership, every time I wrap a piece of furniture or I pack a box, I want somebody to be able to come after me and say, okay, yeah, that's a good job.
We only hire the best at Moving Team 6, giving you the best moving experience possible. Visit us online at movingteam6.com. Your move is our mission.
KTAR News Flash.
At 11:17, I'm Martha Maurer. Here's what you need to know right now. Happening right now, Arizona Governor Doug Ducey is at the border town of Douglas, about 120 miles southeast of Tucson. He's getting an aerial tour of border operations and will be briefed on the humanitarian concerns Border Patrol agents see from the current migrant surge. We'll bring you live updates of the governor's border visit throughout the afternoon. Are you 55 and older and looking for a COVID-19 vaccine? 67,000 more appointments are now open for the 3 mass vaccination state-run sites here in the Valley, another 12,000 in Tucson. Find the link to sign up or a number to call at ktar.com. The CDC is out with new guidance for schools. It now recommends students stay 3 feet apart rather than 6 feet when they're inside the classroom wearing a mask. This recommendation, however, does not apply to middle and high school students when they're in communities that have substantial spread of COVID-19. You're never more than 15 minutes away from today's top stories on Arizona's news station, KTAR News.
Got 15 minutes? Want thousands more for your home? This is Jamie West, and at 72 sold, they only need a 15-minute walkthrough to give you a price that's thousands more than if you sold any other way. Sell your home for thousands more at 72sold.com.
Aaa Auto Insurance isn't just about protecting metal and glass. It's about the people inside the car.
Did you check the tires?
That's why AAA Insurance offers the benefits of a AAA membership, like roadside assistance.
We're gonna need it.
Yes, we are.
It's extra peace of mind that no other insurance can match. Plus member savings when you bundle your auto and home insurance.
Even better. I could use AAA right now.
Join today at AAA.com. Get great auto insurance and more for the road ahead. AAA. Northwest Phoenix's very best assisted living and memory care community is opening soon. The Retreat at Alameda. Hi, it's Becky Lynn, inviting you to make an appointment right now at retreatseniorliving.com. Call anytime, nights and weekends included. And good news, beginning March 15th, you can take a tour of the entire community. Reserve a new home now at the Retreat at Alameda and become part of the Founders Club with great perks like a 2-year suite rate lock and more. All the details are right there for you at retreatseniorliving.com.
People love Subaru vehicles because they deliver unswerving value. Just ask the experts. Subaru vehicles hold their value better than any other brand for 2021 and have more 2021 IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus winners than Honda, Toyota, or Hyundai brands as of February 24th, 2021. So come in during the Subaru A Lot to Love event for special offers on a Subaru. But hurry, offers end March 31st. Contact your local Phoenix area Subaru retailer for details. Value based on ALGS's residual value forecast for the 2021 model year. The Mike Broomhead Show on KTAR News 92.3 FM and the KTAR News app.
All right, here we go. Let's get you caught up. The biggest newsmakers of the day, all in one segment. We call it, Did You Hear This?
Did you hear this? Broomhead's reaction to the hottest news stories.
A little over a year ago, we hadn't even heard of it. But now, social distancing has become one of the most common phrases in America. By now, you know that 6 feet of distance is recommended, but
Centers for Disease Control changing its classroom safety guidelines. The CDC says 3 feet of separation is safe, cutting in half the current recommendation to keep students 6 feet apart.
3 feet different? Doesn't sound like much, but is this a big deal?
Yeah, especially when it comes to classroom sizes. Right now, if you've got 6 feet of distancing in a classroom, you can't have kids very close together. With 3 feet of distancing, you can get more kids in a classroom. So that is good news. I think that, and the CDC wouldn't jump this if they didn't know that it was safe. They did some, I guess, classroom sizes in Massachusetts. We know that kids are a lot less likely to get or spread COVID-19. I think any of these things are incremental and good steps towards normalcy, and I think this is a good one. I'm glad they did it.
The crisis at the border isn't getting any better, as Governor Ducey will be down there today meeting with border officials. And the message coming from Washington? Here's the head of Homeland Security.
Some loving parents might send their child to traverse Mexico alone to reach the southern border, our southern border. I hope they don't undertake that perilous journey, but if they do, we will not expel that young child. That is who we are as a nation, and we can do it.
It's a positive message, but is it the right message to be sending to potential immigrants?
It's no different than we did under the Trump administration, where once kids were here, we took care of them. And that's the issue, is that taking care of kids that are here should not be the responsibility of the American people. Any loving parent, as he said, Mayorkas said, loving parents don't send their kids with cartel members north of the border. I understand desperation, but this kind of a policy that says we recommend you don't do this, but if you do, we promise to take care of your child, sends the wrong message. Do you think that's going to slow people down from coming? The goal is to slow them and stop them from coming. That message encourages them to come. That is the wrong message. It's not humane. As a matter of fact, it's more damaging. You're listening to Did You Hear This? We do this every day at this time, Monday through Friday, our final one of the week. A couple more to go. What do you got, Steve?
Video surfaced today of Joe Biden tripping not once, but thrice while walking up the stairs to Air Force One. He seems to be okay, but as if that wasn't bad enough, he might also be seeing the future now, because he slipped up and said this.
President Harris and I took a virtual tour of a vaccination center in Arizona not long ago.
I'm sorry, what was that?
President Harris.
President Harris?
Freudian slip, maybe?
A slip up or prophecy?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is he foretelling the future? Is it prophecy? Is it just a Freudian slip?
Oh, come on, we saw that.
Is it because so many people are
saw that
actually
coming a
questioning
year
whether or
ago.
not he is actually pulling the strings, or if he's the, he's the Wizard of Oz. Somehow there's somebody else behind the curtain. Pay no attention. There are doubts about this president's ability to do the job in many circles. I tell you, I don't relish in that. I didn't agree with Obama. I didn't agree with Bill Clinton, but nobody questioned their ability to do the job, their physical and mental capacity to do the job. When they did it to Trump, it was wrong. It's not right to do it here, but when you do things like that, and then you fall up the steps going on to Air Force One, it adds to the rumor mill, and it's just not a good look for America.
Get Kamala ready. Remember the Major story? You know, the one about Biden's dog, Major, biting a security guard at the White House? Well, the dog is back, and as it turns out, it might not have actually been his fault at all. Here's the breakdown from a parent dog analyst, Mika Brzezinski.
Think about the juju that was in that White House, okay? Like uncomfortable vibes. I bet you Major was channeling them.
All right, well,
and so he was just you have to be very patient with rescue pets.
Major was just channeling Trump's bad energy, clearly.
Speak about uncomfortable vibes. If you watch that video, her husband, who is Joe Scarborough, and everybody else on that
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, they're married.
Wow.
Yeah. And poor Joe. And so they were all very uncomfortable when she started talking about that he was channeling the bad vibes of the previous administration, and that's why he bit somebody at the White House. It was about the most uncomfortable 5 or 10 seconds I've seen in TV in a while. But again, it shows you they don't even pretend to be nonpartisan anymore anywhere in the news. And she just believes everything bad flows from Donald Trump. There you have it. And of all of the stories, that's the one that made me laugh the most, because Mika Brzezinski has the best job on the planet. She is just an echo chamber. Joe Scarborough does the work. I don't agree with Scarborough either, but Scarborough does the work. He makes the statements, and then she just repeats whatever he says. It's been a really bad day in Washington, D.C. Oh, it's been a bad day. You watch the show. Once you hear it, you can't unhear it. That's the greatest job on the planet, don't you think?
It's gotta be.
I mean, I thought I do have a great job. I love this. I love this job. Don't tell the bosses how much I like this job. I love this job. And it's not like the work I've done before in the past. I love being able to give my opinions and interact with people. But imagine not having to have any intelligent thoughts whatsoever. You just have the ability to echo what somebody else said. It would be like you, Steve, if your job was to just agree with me. If I said, Steve, you don't have to do anything else. When I say something, I want you to repeat it. When I say that Joe Scarborough, I don't agree with Scarborough because sometimes I think he's crazy. All you have to say is, sometimes he's crazy. If that's all you had to do all day, that's a pretty easy gig.
All right, from here until the end of the show, I'll just repeat everything you say.
You're going to get really, really frustrated doing that because I'm going to start saying some crazy stuff that you're going to have to repeat.
Some really crazy stuff.
Thank you. See how good that works? See how easy it is? In a moment, we're going to talk about Governor Ducey heading to the border. It's a big story. It's a big issue. What will he find? But more importantly, what can he do? We'll talk about that coming up in just a couple of moments. I've talked to you a lot of times about Paul Lynch, Dr. Lynch over at Arizona Pain, and the amount of respect I have for all the help that they've given me. Do you know that knee pain is huge and it's such a complex joint that back pain is the most debilitating illness that people complain about. It is debilitating. They are doing a free webinar on the 24th, which is just a few days away at 6 p.m. If you're a golfer, it's how to destroy a golf ball without destroying your back. It's going to be Dr. Lynch talking about preventative maintenance, and Dr. Chance Moore, who is a chiropractor, demonstrating exercises and intervention for mild to moderate pain, and golf pro Scott Watkins demonstrating how to swing a golf club and protect your back. If you're a golfer and you suffer from back pain, there's nothing better than Arizona Pain. They've got 4 locations. You get an appointment in days, not weeks, and it is the best care I've ever had. I am a patient. I swear by them, and that's why I'm recommending them to you. You want to be a part of this webinar? ArizonaPain.com/golf. ArizonaPain.com/golf.
The Gators and Chad Show, afternoons.
Guess who's getting the vaccine?
Oh my god, do I know him?
Yes, it's you.
No way!
You live in Pima County?
Canal County.
You live in Canal County?
Oh my lord.
And it's 18 and over. Are you 18 and over?
I'm 18 and over times 2.5.
I'm moving in with Chad.
Serious news. Seriously entertaining. The Gators and Chad Show, this afternoon at 2. KTAR News 92.3 FM.
Arizona license number 222486.
My name is Frank. I'm a retired Phoenix property crimes and burglary detective. A typical burglary entry is done through the easiest form of entry that they can find. Usually it's through an open door or an unlocked door, unlocked windows, and if they have difficulty getting in any of those, then they'll use force. They'll either break out a window, get in a tree, or they'll kick in a door. Alarm systems are a momentary distraction to them. If it's just a normal break-in and alarm company's reporting, it may take some time for an officer to get there. I became interested in security screens because I don't want to be a victim. I found this system with the screens being probably the best security deterrent that I could find on the market. I can feel comfortable, my wife can feel comfortable knowing that we have that layer of security that's going to most likely prevent anybody from ever getting into our house.
Protect your home. Protect your family. The original Security Screen Masters. Visit our showroom or schedule your free in-home demonstration at securityscreenmasters.com. That's securityscreenmasters.com.
This is Aaron Warby, host of Online Training Academy's Bulls and Bears Radio Hour, where we talk about the Bears and the rest of it might be a lot of bull. Listen in every Saturday 7 a.m. or Sunday 9 a.m. where we'll talk about the markets, what's going up, what's going down, why, and most importantly, what you can do about it. This week on the show, we'll talk about the whipsaw action we've seen in the markets recently. We'll talk about stimulus and what that will mean to the stock market and more immediately the commodities market. Finally, we'll talk about the best strategies to ride out the inflation storm ahead in both the markets and real estate. Ready to start trading or investing on your own? Register for one of our complimentary 3-hour workshops in one of our three locations, Scottsdale, Chandler, or Peoria, by calling 8448-TRADER or text the letters OTA to 31996. Again, listen to the Bulls and the Bears radio show Saturday at 7 or Sunday at 9 right here on KTAR.
Dave Ramsey here for my good friends over at Window World. I trust these guys because they take great care of their customers. Listen to this. Almost half of all Window World customers come from happy referrals. But that's no surprise with local owners Jim and Tony Ballard's no-nonsense home remodeling experience from start to finish. It's really simple, folks. They'll install premium quality replacement windows and doors and provide a low upfront price without any crazy gimmicks or sales tricks. They even include a true lifetime warranty that includes accidental glass breakage. Trust me, simply the best for less is exactly what you get with Window World. So go ahead and replace those old drafty windows with the only replacement window and door company I recommend in the Valley. Call or schedule online at windowworldphoenix.com windowworldphoenix.com. That's windowworldphoenix.com. Window World, simply the best for less.
Get the best seats for the lowest price when you buy a D-Backs ticket plan. Guarantee your seat for 2021 by calling 602-462-4600 or log on to dbacks.com. Presented by Gila River Hotels and Casinos.
Arizona's news station. KTAR on air, 92.3 FM, online at KTAR.com, and streaming live on the KTAR News app. Your breaking news and traffic.
It's 11:32. I'm Martha Maurer. Here's our top story. KTAR eyes on immigration. Right now, Arizona Governor Doug Ducey is getting an aerial tour of operations at the Arizona-Mexico border. Florida U.S. Senator Rick Scott is with the governor. Scott sits on the Senate Homeland Security Committee. A border sheriff is also on the visit.
Dutchess County Sheriff Mark Daniels joining the governor and joined Arizona's Morning News earlier about what he believes is a crisis at the border. He calls it a big uptick in the number of migrants crossing illegally and being screened but not tested for COVID-19.
It's been a real challenge. We gave out $2 trillion to help people because
Take a slight left turn.
Pandemic. That's not being addressed here on the southwest border. I'll tell you, it's very disrespectful for us living out here trying to address this issue.
And Daniels says the number of migrants spotted on their camera systems 5 times higher than it was a year ago. Jim Cross, KTAR News.
Governor Ducey is expected to make some remarks after his border tour. We'll bring you those details live throughout the afternoon. Meanwhile, migrant crossings have tripled since President Biden ended the wait in Mexico policy for asylum seekers. U.S. Democratic Senator Mark Kelly tells Arizona's Morning News only $110 million from the $1.9 trillion COVID-19 stimulus goes to Border Patrol and border communities.
My office is working on this every single day to make sure these communities have the resources, and those resources go to not only house migrants, but also the transportation system to get folks from our southern border communities to Tucson and Phoenix and beyond.
Kelly wants Washington to hire
3.6 miles, turn left onto South Herrera Way.
Coronavirus in Arizona.
COVID-19 cases remaining relatively low today. 423 new cases and 46 more deaths added to the dashboard. This comes as the state also reports more than 30,000 new diagnostic tests. KTAR eyes on education. The CDC out today with new guidance for schools. It now recommends students stay 3 feet apart rather than 6 feet when they're inside a classroom and wearing a mask. CDC Director Rochelle Walensky makes clear this only applies to students.
CDC continues to recommend at least 6 feet of distance between teachers and staff and other adults in the school buildings and between adults and students.
For more on COVID-19 in Arizona and for a link and number to sign up for the thousands of new vaccine appointments that just opened up today, you can go to ktar.com/coronavirus. And now for a check on traffic, here's Monica Reed live from the Valley Chevy Dealers Traffic Center.
Well, we've got some west side problems. Grand Avenue westbound, west of the 101, there's an accident there involving a motorcycle that's causing delays. Go with 83rd Avenue or 99th Avenue. Then on the 101 southbound at Cardinals Way, traffic running heavy there. I-17 northbound, some slowing from 7th Street to 7th Avenue. And on the southbound side of the 17 through the construction, it's heavy from 19th Avenue to 7th Street. Also a reminder that 12th Street is shut down between Glendale Avenue and Northern for road repairs that'll be going on through Monday. Northbound and southbound 12th Street closed there. This report is sponsored by Exergen. Accuracy matters. Receive a $5 rebate by trading up any non-contact thermometer toward an Exergen purchased at any retailer. Details at Exergen.com, where accuracy matters. I'm Monica Reed, KTAR News.
Enjoy sunny and 86 degrees for your high today, a low of 57. Your weekend, mostly sunny skies, highs between the high and mid-80s. Weather brought to you by Howard Air. Right now it is 75 degrees in Glendale. I'm Martha Maurer on Arizona's news station, KTAR News.
The Mike Broomhead Show on KTAR News 92.3 FM and the KTAR News app.
Thanks for being here. It's the Mike Broomhead Show. I appreciate you joining me on this Friday morning. I want to encourage you to download the KTAR News app. When news breaks, we're all over it. We got the best news team in the entire town. I'm not just saying it because I work here. Well, I guess I am saying it because I work here, because I've witnessed it over the last over a year. For a year, if there is breaking news inside the state of Arizona, nobody covers it better than KTAR News. If you have the app on your phone or any of your devices, it notifies you when news breaks, and then you can listen live if something's happening on the air. It takes you directly to the story. It's the easiest news app I've ever used, and I use it every single day. So please download the KTAR News app. The governor's down on the border today. And what is the problem with this is a federal issue. They've made that very, very clear. We've sent, and it's not just been Republican governors. We had a Democrat governor in Janet Napolitano who sent the National Guard down to the border. It's always been about politics, though. And this should not be a political issue. If we could talk about what's really happening at the border with common sense, average people that don't care about partisan politics, we could get something done with fixing what's happening at the border. I guarantee you, if you are not politically inclined, if you listen to this radio station because you like the news that they deliver, and you're listening to this show right now waiting for the news, I can promise you that the issue on the border is not a political issue for me. I've been to the border on a number of occasions. I've been down there protesting the fact that it's not closed like it should be. I've been down there helping in humanitarian efforts because of the deplorable conditions that these kids are living in. I also know very, very well firsthand and secondhand information of watching what happens at the border. I've been down there with the police. I've watched what's happened, and I will tell you that local law enforcement is overwhelmed by what's happening. We now mix into this COVID-19. It was the Democrats that did it, but let's just say the Congress, and forgetting the parties here a moment. I'm trying to be as apolitical as possible because it's not a political issue. In the days of COVID-19, is there anyone out there that believes that any facility that is over capacity is doing a service to the people that are in that facility with the spread of COVID-19? The answer is no. We're not doing that as a company or those people a service. Are we doing the communities in southern Arizona a service by saying the people that are leaving these immigration facilities are leaving there without a negative COVID test? Of course not. It's horrible. I will tell you, I have a friend, her and her husband just came back from Mexico within the last couple of weeks. They went on a trip. They flew in, I think it was near Cabo. I don't remember where they went, but they flew on vacation. They flew into Mexico. In order to fly back into the United States, they're required to provide a negative COVID test to get back into the country. That is a safety measure so that when you're traveling by air out of the country, you're not bringing COVID-19 back into the country with you, especially with the variants that are out there. We have these facilities that are overflowing with human beings. They are packed beyond capacity. We know that people are coming across the border with COVID and other illnesses, and we are turning people loose into the communities in southern Arizona and Texas and other places without a COVID test. And then when they get sick, they're being cared for in our communities. They're being tested and they're testing positive for COVID-19. It spreads like wildfire. We've seen it in our prison system. We've seen it in nursing homes and congregate settings, that when you have people that close together, it spreads like wildfire. We're not testing. We're not doing any of that. That's a political decision. That is absolutely politics. Because everything else and everywhere else we're testing more and more. And we're demanding people distance. We're demanding mask wearing. We're demanding all of this. But not in this case. That's just part of it. That's the new aspect of it. But the old aspects of what's happened before is happening again. You're overwhelming law enforcement who are not trained to do this, but you've got ICE and you've got the people at Border Patrol are focused on these children that have come across the border, processing them through, getting them safe, getting them clean, getting them fed, getting them screened, getting them somewhere. And in the meantime, the cartels are using that lack of manpower out there, lack of staff out on the border, that's when they're trucking in their drugs and everything else. It is a nightmare scenario. And so our governor's going to say it, but he's a Republican, so that doesn't matter. That voice doesn't count. So unless you have a bunch of Democrats that cross the aisle and say it, it doesn't really happen. Well, I will tell you, there's at least one. Now, I did not vote for Mark Kelly to be our senator, but he is our senator. He was on Arizona's Morning News just the other day and said he thinks the president should go down there. He called it a crisis himself. Because it is. It's a crisis for the American people and the people that live in the towns around these border facilities. It is a crisis for the kids that are going into these facilities. It's a crisis for the law enforcement that are trying to deal with all of this. It is a crisis all the way around. This is a bad thing. It's bad for the kids that are coming here. It's bad for our law enforcement officials patrolling the border. It's bad for the towns around there when these people get turned loose into their communities. It is bad all the way around. And yet they will not change their policy at the White House. And I think the American people are going to see sooner rather than later
Then at the next
that
one,
it's hypocritical
turn left.
because of COVID-19 and lack of enforcement there, but enforcement in the businesses in America. But aside from the hypocrisy, when you look into the faces of kids and they're being treated this way, well, what option do we have? We don't have much of an option once they're here. We do have the option of preventing them from coming. And that's what we should be doing. And we're not. And we're not. And we're not. Still more to come before I close it out. I've got a few things still to discuss before the week is over. I hope you'll stick around with me for just a few more minutes. You know, as things turn back to normal, we're seeing more and more traffic on the roads. More and more traffic on the roads means there's a risk of you getting into an accident. That chance just went up. Now, stay protected. I want you to keep the phone number of Sweet James with you, 800-500-5200. Now, Sweet James and their accident attorneys are there day and night. If you're ever injured in an accident, they will take your call. Do not take on the insurance companies alone. The worst thing you can do is accept a low offer. Now, it's not going to be enough. That's what they do. Sweet James and his accident attorneys recover millions of dollars for their clients every month. They have a whole team that specializes in your case. They want to make sure you get the medical attention you need, your vehicle gets fixed and repaired, and you are fairly compensated if you are injured through the negligence
At the light,
of someone
turn
else.
left onto South Herrera Way. Then the destination is on your right.
Companies by yourself. Keep this number close by, 800-500-5200. That's 800-500-5200. Or go online, sweetjames.com.
Taking the dog on that morning walk? Before you grab the leash, open up the KTAR News app for breaking news with Jim, Jamie, and Detour Dan on Arizona's Morning News. Get up and know as you get up and go with the KTAR News app.
Are you okay?
Fine, just tackling the hall closet. I'm fooling myself in the spring cleaning.
I'm going to clean up on Chardonnays, low prices of total wine. I'm on a fling into spring with thousands of wines, spirits, and beers to explore. We can save big and mix up cocktails with tequilas and fruit-flavored vodkas. There's so many choices. Chardonnays, rosés, pinots, proseccos.
I'm going to Total Wine with you. Wondrous selection, helpful guides, always low prices. Total Wine and Home. Drink responsibly, B21.
Hey, so March did come in like
The destination is on your right. Phoenix VA Hospital parking garage.
Now, our Desert Ford deal is official partner of the Cardinals.
Arrived.
Are taking March out with Ford Truck Month. That's right. Welcome to the show. That is Ford Truck Month. The best time to save big on the best-selling line of trucks for 44 years running now. Ford Truck Month, where we can get 0% financing for 72 months and another $500 when you trade in your ride on a new 2020 Ford F-150. Hey, how does America's best-selling brand for 11 years in a row now get better? When we get the long-awaited Ford Bronco Sport. That's right, the all-new 2021 Ford Bronco Sport, and we can get 0.9% financing for 60 months plus $500 bonus cash on a new 2021 Ford Bronco Sport. But hurry, Ford Truck Month ends March 31st at our Desert Ford dealers. Just click buyfordnow.com.
For the 50th year, Barrett Jackson, Arizona's original collector car auction, returns for Westwood and Scottsdale, March 20th through the 27th, with safety protocols in place to help keep guests and the collector car hobby healthy. You'll see hundreds of the most desirable vehicles, exciting thrill rides, an incredible exhibitor marketplace, and more. Find out for yourself why Barrett Jackson events are known as the world's greatest collector car auction. A limited number of tickets are now available online in advance only. Visit BarrettJackson.com for more information.
Hey, Dave Ramsey here. Adding new flooring, tile, and stone is a great investment when you buy.
Jacob said so he can actually stay up to 6 months and maybe more depending on progress and such. I'll put in my case notes soon for you to take a look at. Would you like to reply?
No.
Okay, no other messages.
inventory is incredible. Imperial Wholesale has received several